Some of the world's most recognizable celebrities were actually lacking a household before becoming household names. From comedians and Oscar winners to music stars, these rich and famous people were once homeless. Long before Chris Pratt was helping save the universe as Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy and making audiences chuckle as Andy on Parks and Recreation, he was just another young, aspiring actor. Except, unlike many of his peers, he wasn't banging on doors in Studio City. Nope, Pratt was living out of a van in Hawaii.
I am 35 years old, I am divorced, and I live in a van down by the river.
How did he wind up there?
I lived in a van in Maui for about a year when I was 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so...
That van, right there.
Is that the van?
After studying acting at a local community college in his native Washington for half a semester, the future Velociraptor handler found himself tempted by island life. Pratt told Entertainment Weekly, "I had a friend who was like, dude, you've got to come out here. We set up camp on the beach and lived the dream." While Pratt lived out of that van, he also waited tables at Bubba Gum Shrimp Co. in Maui.
Where were you waiting tables?
The Bubblegum Shrimp Company.
Oh my gosh!
Anyone? You know Bubblegum?
At 19, he reportedly waited on actress and director Ray Don Chong, who then cast Pratt in the 2000 horror comedy Curse Part 3. That movie didn't catapult him to international superstardom, but it did give him a ticket straight off the island and out of that van.
That script is for Cursed Part 3, the movie that I got paid $700 to do that.
$700?
I know! I was like, score!
For Alaskan-born singer-songwriter Jewel, the road to fame was a rocky one indeed. The Pieces of You songstress started performing early, singing and yodeling at local venues with her father. But the family faced housing uncertainty, and the star struggled growing up as a result.
So I moved out at 15 knowing that I didn't receive good nurture. And if I didn't receive good nurture, could I get to know my real nature?
She admitted at an event for the Inspiring Children Foundation, "People treated me like I was contagious. They thought the homelessness might spread to them." Jewel left home at age 15 to pursue her music dreams and landed her big break at 18 after signing with Atlantic Records. But she could have used a helping hand during the years in between. Jewel told The Hollywood Reporter that she wound up on the streets after losing a job. The singer claims her boss at the time fired her for refusing to have sex with him. Unable to pay her rent, she lived out of her car until her car was stolen. She said, "I'd go back to my car, writing songs, and men would literally come up and proposition me. They would be like, 'Hey, do you need rent money, you know?' and things like that. It was pretty wild. I never took anybody up on it, but it was interesting to see this side of men that basically would prey on somebody vulnerable."
I love a comeback story. I love people who've overcome, succeeded against the odds, who've fallen and got back up. You did it, I tell you that.
Steve Harvey has a knack for making audiences chuckle, but the hardship he faced in the early days of his career was no laughing matter. In an interview with People magazine, Harvey revealed that he took some little big shots of his own and quit his job as an insurance salesman after winning $50 for his first performance as a stand-up comedian. His decision to quit his job reportedly kickstarted a family feud with his wife and twin daughters.
I was homeless from 30 to 33. I lived in a 1976 Tempo. I lived in a car for 3 years, man.
Harvey slept in his Ford Tempo and survived on mostly bologna sandwiches, using a cooler in place of a refrigerator, washing in rest stop bathrooms, and sometimes stealing fuel from gas stations, People reported. He told the magazine, "It was crushing. I realized you're on your own. You have nothing or no one. All I knew was that I could make people laugh." For Carmen Electra, starting out in Hollywood was a bit like watching a scary movie. The Ohio-born model, actress, and dancer got her first taste of fame collaborating with Prince on a professional and personal level. Unfortunately, after ending her involvement with the Purple One, Electra hit hard times. In 2009, the former Playboy model told the Las Vegas Review-Journal that she was homeless for a couple years in Hollywood after her then-boyfriend stole $5,000 from her, effectively cleaning out her savings. She described the experience, "I remember sitting on a park bench in the valley. I was crying because I was stranded. It was over 100 degrees outside. I was sitting there with a pocket knife and a pager and some change in my pocket and a really nice pair of high heels." Her situation was dire, but Electra's luck eventually turned around thanks to help from choreographer Jamie King, whom she'd met while dancing for Prince. King helped her find a publicist, and in 1997, Electra was cast as a series regular on Baywatch and started hosting MTV's Singled Out. Those gigs launched her career to the next level. As for her experiences being homeless, she told the paper, "Maybe that's what gave me the drive to be in this business and stick it out and really push myself and make it happen." Canadian-born funny man Jim Carrey is best known for his over-the-top slapstick performances in films such as Ace Ventura: Pet Detective and Dumb and Dumber. But underneath that iconic sense of humor is a hardscrabble history. When he was just 14 years old, his father Percy, an accountant and, according to Carrey, a talented sax and clarinet player, got laid off.
It wore him down, it wore him down, and he got a little bit bitter, especially when he lost his job when he was 51.
According to Rolling Stone, Carrey's dad snagged a job working at a Titan Wheels factory. Meanwhile, Jim and his siblings would lend a hand as janitors and security men after school. They allegedly lived, quote, feudal style in a big stone house next to the factory. The experience reportedly fueled major tension throughout the family, and eventually Percy quit that job and resettled the brood in a VW camper van.
But when I was about 14 or 15, my father lost his job, and I actually became homeless for quite some time. Of course, I grew up in Canada, so I thought we had just gone camping.
That sounds like an experience some might want to wipe clear from their memories, but the eternal sunshine of the spotless mind star told Rolling Stone that life in that van was great, admitting, "We went to a couple of campgrounds and we pitched a tent on my sister's lawn. But we were so much happier than we'd been being those people we didn't like. We didn't have a place to live, but it was like somebody lifted a goddamn burden off our shoulders. And we became loving, happy, laughing people again. People that had food fights every Sunday."
I don't know why I ever leave this place. I've got all the company I need right here.
Jennifer Lopez danced her way onto the small screen as a fly girl for the 90s sketch comedy show In Living Color.
First of all, we have a new fly girl coming all the way from Bronx, New York, Miss Jennifer Lopez.
But the Bronx native who became an international film, television, and music sensation had beginnings that were less than spectacular. In fact, Jenny from the block once had to hit the block, literally. Lopez told W Magazine, "My mom and I butted heads. I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to try dance full-time. So she and I had a break. I started sleeping on the sofa in the dance studio. I was homeless, but I told her, this is what I have to do." Lopez, who had studied dance at the Ballet Hispanico and the Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club, was just 18 at the time. Fortunately, Lopez's gamble paid off. She booked a dancing job in Europe, and within a year, she was reportedly living in Los Angeles, moving and shaking. In the 1976 sports drama Rocky, actor, writer, director Sylvester Stallone captures the rags-to-riches story of boxer Rocky Balboa, a working-class Italian-American from Philadelphia who manages against all odds to get a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. The film has become the stuff of legend, earning $225 million in global box office receipts. But what some may not know is that Stallone's own success story is pretty legendary in its own right. The man who portrayed Rocky throughout the film franchise endured hard times before he sold the script for that first boxing film. According to the New York Times, Stallone was, quote, farmed out to foster homes while his parents worked and, quote, was a juvenile delinquent who attended 12 schools by the time he was 15 and was kicked out of most of them. He was so destitute that he even supposedly sold his dog for $50 to a guy known as Little Jimmy. Stallone told Shortlist, "When I sold the Rocky script, I went to see Little Jimmy and begged for the dog back. He lined up his children. Oh, my kids love the dog. I said, you've only had him for a fucking week. He wanted to fight me and he said he was gonna kill me. I couldn't fight him. They'd arrest me. So I offered to pay double. Anyway, $3,000 and several threats later, it's worth noting that Little Jimmy also got a part in that first Rocky flick. Wonder if that was part of the dog deal." Halle Berry became the first actress of African-American descent to win the Academy Award for Best Actress for her performance in the 2001 film Monsters Ball. But long before she captivated audiences and critics alike with her riveting turn as a grieving widow and mother, Berry faced hard times of her own. At 21, she ended up in a homeless shelter as she was struggling to break into show business. Berry, who was first runner-up in the Miss USA pageant in 1986, told people that she moved to New York City with money she earned from modeling. Unfortunately, that dough didn't last long in the Big Apple.
3 months later, I was out of my cash.
Right.
And I called my mother and I asked her to send me some money. And she said no.
According to Berry, her mother's refusal to lend her a hand led to a year of estrangement in which they didn't speak. The actress now believes that her mother had her best interests at heart, claiming that those hard times strengthened her resolve to succeed. She said of the experience,
"It took me right back to my high school years. You say I can't, watch me. I'm gonna figure this out."
Audiences know Hilary Swank for her 2 Academy Award-winning roles. She portrayed transgender murder victim Brandon Tina in the 1999 biographical film Boys Don't Cry, and impoverished prizefighter Maggie Fitzgerald in Clint Eastwood's 2004 drama $1 Million Baby. Less known is that this A-list actress faced homelessness when she first moved to Los Angeles. According to CBS News, Swank dropped out of high school and she and her mother left their trailer park in Washington and headed to Hollywood, but they didn't have a place to land in California. They reportedly lived out of a car and squatted in a vacant property. Swank explained, "We had a friend who was selling their house, and so they said, you know, there's no furniture, but you can stay there at night. And then during the day, you have to leave so we can try and sell it. So we got air mattresses, blew the air mattresses up, slept on the air mattresses, and left in the morning." Even after winning her first Oscar, Swank still had trouble making ends meet. She'd reportedly made only $3,000 for Boys Don't Cry. She told CBS News, "So I had an Academy Award and I didn't have health insurance. The life of an actor." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.